I know oftentimes we can feel overwhelmed or frustrated. And one of the ways that I like to get myself back into the game of life is to start exploring my curiosity, to start finding my playfulness and wonderment again, to pick up a pad and paper and start drawing or painting, or even just going outside and getting in nature. But today I wanted to ask you, how are you maintaining your curiosity and allowing yourself to be open to greater discovery of yourself, of others, of our world? Because so often we get stuck in a position where we feel as though things are just the way that they are. But what if there was room for growth? What if there was a way that we could be more open to possibilities? And we can be, and that is through our curiosity. And so that is the field of energy that we always have access to. So sometimes we get into the feelings that circumstances are just as they are, but they're not. They're not. They're always changeable. There's always new ways to open up and discover new possibilities. And it's when we get out of the idea of having to have a conclusion or have a directive or even a belief of something being the way that it is, if we just open our and expand our awareness, it opens us up to so much more. I remember being on a volunteer rafting trip several years ago with my dear friend Allie, and Allie passed away this last year. But being with her, like, even though she had a disability, she was filled with so much life and curiosity that really allowed her to be excited about life. And I remember on the back of the shirt for the organization that we volunteered for, or that I volunteered for, um, it said the only or the greatest disability or the only disability is a mind stuck in a closed position. And it's so true. Like, if our mind gets stuck in thinking that it's just this way, we cut ourselves off from everything that's there and available for us. So, reflecting today, how can you allow yourself to be inspired from within? What is it that you can do to get outside of the box of what something looks like on the outside, but actually just allow yourself space to open up and connect with your heart? Maybe even just put your hands on your heart and ask, what will inspire joy inside of me today? And how can I use my creativity today to feel inspired? And take 5 or 10 minutes to go do the thing and allow yourself space to be a joy generator. Generate that joy inside of you. And maybe if we stop caring so much about what other people thought and really tuned into what our inner selves feel, what we can create is something so much greater, because we have to really truly connect into our heart, and we all have an inner child within us. And what is that inner child thinking when you are conforming and looking at what other people's expectation is of you, and then following through with their directive instead of something that you know inside of yourself to be true? So today, I'm going to leave you with a quote, and it's one of my favorites from Albert Einstein. And it is, great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. And it's so true. It's so true. And how often do we cut ourselves off from our curiosity, our wonderment, our playfulness, because we're concerned of what somebody else's mediocre mind has said is true or is wanting us to believe, or even Nice comment there, Attack on Titan. um, yeah, it's like, why are we cutting ourselves off from the greatness that's within us? Why do we listen to what other people expect of us, or even how we feel? I had someone say something to me about over the weekend about they were going to get mad at me if I felt a certain way. Well, sorry, but you can't say the directive of how I feel. And granted, we can't put all of our eggs in the basket of feelings because our feelings sometimes are not accurate based on our experiences. But our feelings are important, like our emotions, allowing ourselves to tune in and tap in to the emotions inside of us. That is one of our superpowers that can allow us to clear old stuck energy, the old stories, the beliefs, the traumas. Sometimes they do require some feeling, and maybe it's just going through that experience of releasing that can open up the space and help us to realize how much we can actually be more present with ourselves, with our heart, with what we know is true, connect with our higher self, and show up as the loving adult, the loving adult that inner child within us always needed, but maybe didn't always have available. And that's what I have for you today. Day 2 of this is a journey. You, just like me, we are all healing. We are all healing. And, I don't think any one of us ever stops having experiences that are calling us to knock, 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 get triggered, get triggered so that we can become aware of what it is. Oh, there's a bird in here. Oh my God. A bird just came in the house. A bird just flew in the house. Come on, birdie. You're not supposed to be in here. Come on, sweetheart. What you doing? Hi. Can I help you? Can I help you, baby? It's okay. Okay, that ends our live for today. I'm gonna go help this little baby bird. There's nature allowing us to get curious, to be inspired, and allow life to work through us, the wonderment, the joy, and be in the experience of what life is bringing through us. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.